It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Last of Us on HBO. On this video, we're going to be taking a look at a few behind the scenes photos from filming the show. Now, a disclaimer here, these are not official photos that were released. These are just some behind the scenes photos that were captured by fans that were passing by the area where filming was taking place, and all of the photos we're going to take a look at were captured in downtown Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And also one other thing I want to say is that I'm not going to go through all of the photos because there was like 20 to 30 photos. I did upload a video a few days ago where I put out all of the photos, so if you're interested you can go there and check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. In this video I'm particularly going to go through a few of them and break down what part of the game they're possibly filming. There's actually a huge story clue, and what I mean by that is a huge clue about what part of the game they might be filming, and also there's other pictures that give us a clear indication how much like the game they're making the series like, which is pretty awesome. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to look at these behind the scenes photos and break it down. Alright, as always, before we jump into this, if you are not a subscriber and enjoyed the content by the end, consider subscribing to join our community, share and smash the like button, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right in. So first, we're going to take a look at this board that was released, the one on the right. So this is obviously posted by director Peter Hoar, who's going to be directing at least one of the episodes of season 1 of The Last of Us on HBO. We did see something similar posted by Kantemir Balagov, who directed the premiere episode. So this is just another one of those that show us they're actively filming the episodes. And one other thing, and this is something I wanted to talk about in previous videos but I kept forgetting every time. If we take a look at the logo, we can see that this is possibly the logo that they're going to be using for The Last of Us on HBO, which is obviously The Last of Us with the logo of the Fireflies at the end of the title. Next up, we're actually going to go through the images. Like I said, these were captured from areas in downtown Edmonton in Alberta, Canada. For those of you that don't know, they were actually in the city that I'm in Calgary, and we talked about some of the things that they were filming in Calgary. So if you're interested in those, make sure to go check them out. Those were particularly for maybe the first 2 episodes, but the ones that we're going to look at today are most likely from the 3rd episode onwards. First, we have these 2 aerial shots of a street in downtown that they transformed into an apocalyptic setting, and we can definitely see that there's a lot of similarities between what we see here and scenes from the game. So we have holes in the middle of roads, we have flipped over cars, we have vines and vegetation growing through the vehicles and everything like that. So this is like a classic apocalyptic look that they're going for, which is pretty accurate compared to the game as well, which is pretty awesome. Something that's not even related, but something I just thought of, is the bus that we see reminds me a lot of the bus that was in the game, where we actually had Joel and Ellie having to go under the water and swim through the bus to be able to get through a blocked area in the road. Again, this has nothing to do with these, but something I just thought of. We can also see some police vehicles. By the name, we can obviously see are meant to be from Boston, which gives us an indication that they're filming parts of the game that are in Boston, which I think is pretty much early on in the game, right after they leave the quarantine zones from Boston and they get into the outskirts of the Boston area, where they run into some Fedra soldiers and things like that. We can actually see this image as well. Now, this is not the actual image. Someone just took this image and used Photoshop to make it look even more genuine and even more like an apocalyptic setting. But just think about what this fan was able to do. Multiply that by maybe 1,000, and that's what we'll probably see on the actual series, which is pretty awesome. We can also see them turning a government building into a building you'll see in an apocalyptic setting. They've put vines and vegetations, and they've also added debris and everything like that to make it look genuine. Now, the main photo that we see right here is not the actual photo. Again, this is someone using their Photoshop skills to turn this into a more genuine image. But again, if this is what a normal fan can do, imagine what HBO can do when it comes to turning this into a scene just like the game. Now, one thing I want to say is this is a huge clue about what part of the game they might be potentially filming. Remember the part of the game where Joel and Ellie and Tess went into the Capitol building right here. Now, obviously, it's not exactly the same because there was a body of water in front of the Capitol building in that particular part of the game, but it doesn't look quite like that in the images that we saw. And obviously they could still do that in post-production, but at the moment it doesn't look exactly the same. But it is a government building, so it's very likely that they're filming the scenes from the Capitol building from the game, which is obviously from the outskirts part of the game, where they're in the outskirts of Boston. If you remember, that was the exact same scene where Tess revealed that she was bit, and from this point forward, Joel and Ellie were on their own. Tess stayed behind to fight the soldiers that were there. So I think they're probably filming that part of the game. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. And this obviously means that from this point forward, we're gonna see a lot more Fireflies. This is the point in the game where Fireflies make more appearances in the game. But that's pretty much everything when it comes to the behind the scenes images I was gonna show you. Again, looking at these side by side, we can see that they are possibly filming the Capitol building scene from the game where Tess stays behind to fight the soldiers. And one other thing I do want to show you is just a side-by-side image of the apocalyptic city setting that we see on the show versus what was on the game. We can see that there's a lot of similarities. They've done a great job with a lot of attention to detail to make things look pretty accurate to what it looked like visually in the game. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through in this video. Again, if you want to see all of the photos, like I said, there was like 20 to 30 photos. So if you want to see all of them, make sure to check out the video that I did a few days ago. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go and check out all of those photos. But that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to share and smash the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community. Press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.